My name is Carla Higgins. I am an owner of a studio in the South Hills of Pittsburgh called Mind, Body, Yoga, and Bar. We have yoga, we have bar, we have other types of movement, but we're also, very much aware of the different types of ways that people experience wellness. So today we're going to be talking about those. Let me introduce Jen first. Jen Lucas is a sound healer. Her deep interest is in the healing properties of sound and light therapy, which led her to pursue formal training and certifications in several vibrational sound and energy modalities. She is the proprietor of Sacred Tones Sound Healing Studio and serves as a sound therapy provider at the Holistic Center of Nemacolin Resort, located in Western Pennsylvania. She obtained her sound therapy practitioner certification in 2021 from Shift Meditation in Amsterdam. Yeah. And possesses 2 certifications in vibrational sound and energy therapy from the Foundational Advanced Skills from the Alexander Method, a modality using tuning forks. During her participation in sound therapy, Jen experienced notable improvements in her mental, emotional, and physical well-being during a difficult time. This transformative experience fostered a deep appreciation for the practice, which she now considers to be her life's calling. Utilizing a variety of instruments and techniques, Jen taps her intuitive skills to generate powerful frequency combinations that resonate with participants, aiding in their healing journeys across the mind, body, and spirit. In a world shifting towards holistic healing solutions, Jen is committed to creating a safe and nurturing environment where healing can truly occur. This combination of personal experience, diverse treatment modalities, and a strong commitment to client well-being sets her work apart in the wellness industry.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, that was a lot. You wrote it. So, welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving to, we did this intentionally. We have a little panel over here. So Leslie is next. Leslie Coffman is a holistic reflexologist and owner of SolQuest Holistic Wellness in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. She did her 300-hour holistic reflexology training at the Brower Institute of Holistic Medicine and engages in continuing education courses regularly. Leslie holds a doctorate degree in physical therapy from Pitt and contributes to academic research related to neuroplasticity and motor control. It's a lot of stuff. Okay. Leslie's in-depth knowledge of anatomy, kinesiology, neuroscience, and Chinese medicine are woven into the fabric of everyday reflexology sessions that she does with her clients. Her sessions include a focus on the breath, creating a healthy and healed image of the client, and working on the physical and energetic systems of the body through their reflection in the feet. Leslie's call to reflexology is also a deeply personal one. Her own mental health struggles led her to reflexology and other somatic modalities that put her on a new trajectory, both in her career and her healing journey. When she began to see the light in her own healing journey, she vowed to be an advocate for making these modalities more visible and mainstream to the general public. While holistic reflexology is Leslie's current niche in the wellness space, the heart of Leslie's business is to support people in getting them to the modalities that best serve them on their journey. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you.
Hello. Fun fact, we didn't know that we lived a mile away from each other, which was also, very fortuitous.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have Bailey. Bailey is a PA licensed massage therapist, 200-hour yoga instructor, sound healing facilitator, and sole proprietor behind Alpha Waves Wellness. A lifelong student of human movement and anatomy, Bailey has found a passion in helping others unlock their potential through whole body wellness by creating a foundation that allows for a better understanding of the body, pain sources, and the nervous system. Bailey helps her clients take the next step in working towards a healthier and more comfortable life. The foundation of Bailey's approach is focused on the client benefits found in sports and therapeutic massage, and what sets her apart is the importance placed on accessing a deeper level of nervous system relaxation and restoration, all while targeting specific muscular complications. Over the last 6 years, Bailey has worked directly with 13 professional and Division I athletic programs and thousands of clients from all ages and abilities. She does the Steelers too, just so everybody in Pittsburgh hears that. While her niche tends to be leaning towards athletes and active individuals, her passion aligns with anyone looking to feel better within their bodies. She sees massage therapy as her calling, an opportunity to help others reconnect with themselves, find a deep relaxation, and leave feeling restored, balanced, and empowered. Welcome, Bailey. All right. Take a sip of coffee now.
Yeah.
So I'll just be asking some questions, and these questions are open-ended so that we can all play off of one another's experience. We'll start with some higher level questions, and then we'll go into some deeper dives. So any of you can start, but each of you work with energy and the body in unique ways. And if you want to start, Jen, we'll just start with you, because you're on my right. Can you briefly share what drew you to your practice and what it means to you personally?
As I mentioned in my very long-winded bio, I experienced a lot of these modalities as a participant. And like most, it was during a difficult time in life. I think, we're set up that way to go through these times, learn from them, figure out what we can do to help others also get through them. So working with sound as a participant, just the most amazing things happened. And what I could say the most amazing part of it was being guided to do it for others. And it's something that I always had as far as a passion for music and sound, but I would always say, like, I don't hear lyrics. Like, that wasn't it for me. It was like how it made me feel. And I never picked up a traditional instrument, never once. Was always mesmerized by guitar players, drummers, but just never went that route. And now I see why. I mean, I obviously play a lot of instruments, a lot of different instruments. And I feel like if I would have gone through the traditional music route, then it would have been more black and white for me, whereas now it's more sitting with these instruments, playing them, because it's different for every person too, right?
Yeah.
And even if the same person comes every day, it's going to be different for them every day. So just really like sitting with these things, playing with them, trial and error, or just that whole like listening to what I'm guided to do and how to play each instrument is really like how I, go this route. So
that's so cool.
And it's a lot of fun. I still can't believe it's like what I do.
Every day. I love this, because tell people what you did do before you were project manager, right?
Yes, I was. So it was very black and white. And even when I was doing that, I'd work with teams of other project managers, and they were like, so, everything was just, it had to be this way. And I wasn't like that as a project manager. And they were all like, are you sure you should be doing this? Because again, it's like, what time? Who could stick to any specific timeline? Like, things happen.
Yeah.
And I was just very easily like, I was able to adjust easily. And I think that's why I was successful in that role, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have been if I had to be so black and white, because that's just not how I am. But having those skills to adjust to things that happen and come up, because that's just life. I think really gave me the upper hand in that area. And obviously I had to be very organized and like work with a lot of different people within any organization. So I learned a lot of skills to be able to do the business part of this as well. Yeah. Because it's not just all fun and playing with crystal balls, there's real things that I have to do that,
you've built up.
Yes. Yes. That's part of it.
I was also a project manager at one point. Can you imagine?
I can't imagine. I literally can't imagine.
Yep. I do it well in some regards, like not in like the timelines and the spreadsheets. A little bit more flexible.
Yeah, I feel like rolling with the punches is what this type of work really relies on, because when you're dealing with people directly, you never know what you're going to get. So if you have like a black and white image of how a session's going to go, and then, it's not, you can't melt down. You have to continue and roll with it and see what happens.
Well, talk about what you briefly, what drew you to the practice that you're doing now? And
So I always enjoyed body work and different types of healing modalities within that world. I didn't know it was a real job. And so I tried for after college, less than a year to have a real job. And I was like, I don't like this. It was the same kind of back end, like supervising management roles like you guys had. And I was like, I can't do this. So yeah, I went to massage school. But I was always drawn to it just because I just loved like the healing aspect and I loved learning about the body. I loved anatomy in college too, and it's kind of just a way to take all those things and roll with it. I didn't know it would be as fulfilling as it is. I hoped it would, but I didn't really have anything else to fall back on. So that was like the only thing that I ever found a passion in as far as working goes was connecting all those. So yeah.
Good. You found it.
Yeah, we did. But
And
it's
you're
hard
amazing.
finding it, it's hard taking a chance on it, especially when you don't know anybody else who's really doing it.
And you can't force it. It's just going to happen. I know a lot of people are hard on themselves about finding their purpose, but it's not really finding it. It finds you when it's time.
Yeah,
definitely.
We're ready for the lesson.
Yes.
How about you, Leslie?
Me. Oh boy. Yeah, so I had been through a long path in terms of addressing mental health issues in my own life. And I had gone the traditional route, kind of using Western medicine. I had been on medication. I had done talk therapy, and it really, those things are useful. Certainly they were stepping stones for me, but I actually had a pretty profound single experience with sound and yoga combined, where, I really can't say anything other than it completely changed my path in terms of knowing that I could heal myself. And that's what I think really I feel called to share with others, is that these modalities can really enliven the ability in your own body to heal yourself. We are not the healers. You are the healer. So when that happened for me, I actually was looking for a sound certification. I was like, I want to do sound. And in doing that, I found reflexology. I found my teacher, and I specifically was really intrigued and impressed by the way that she studies, the way that she teaches. She's here in Pittsburgh, which is crazy. So I just felt like reflexology has a foundation that can kind of help me to guide people in terms of not only reflexology, but also like reflexology probably isn't the right thing for this person. I'll send them to Jen. I'll send them to Bailey. So I just feel like it was a really good foundational element to what my bigger goal is in terms of educating people and making these things more visible.
Yeah, and with a background in PT.
With the background in PT. Along the way, I accidentally got a doctorate.
And you do research, and you're like, all that stuff is like you're a lifelong learner.
Yeah, and my research is related to neuroplasticity, and that's something that I think is really important, is just encouraging people that you don't have to stay the way that you are or the way that you're struggling. You know, things can change. Things do change. Change is really the only like guarantee.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to kind of embrace and to find hope in.
Yep. Absolutely. And I personally love doing all of these things. And I do think that as I get closer and closer to the people, or actually people get closer and closer, I feel like there's always like some magnetism that whenever you have your mind open and whenever you're feeling like abundant in accessing lots of things, your mindset changes. Like you're like, oh, like this thing's bothering me. Like Jen's helped me out, with the passing of my dad, and Bailey's helped me out whenever I hurt my shoulder, and you've helped me out whenever my stomach hurt all the time. Like that's real life. That's now I feel more abundant. I feel more connected to people and I feel more connected to myself because of these things. So that's why I think this conversation is so important for people to hear. What are some misconceptions people have about your types of healing? Anybody can go. We don't have to keep going right to left, or left to right.
Well, I would love to say that, and like you were saying about the expectations, and that's from both sides. People come in with a certain expectation sometimes. And like I mentioned, each time, each day, we're different. It's
Yeah.
never going to be the same. So I've had that happen where people come in, they had a very positive experience. They felt light and blissful and beautiful. And then like next time we find something else to uncover, right? It does. It's deep work. It's not just, let me just lay here and be in a dream state and then like
Yeah.
float on in life. It's work.
Yeah.
It sometimes hits things that are uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but that's part of it. And
Yeah.
you have to feel that and go through it.
Yeah.
And then you come out on the other side more blissful, right? And
Yeah.
nobody's immune to that, myself included. Trust me, we still go through all of these things, but all of these things help to make it a little bit easier to deal with them. Each time it's a little bit easier. Like, okay, I know what this is. It's uncomfortable. I really hate it. I'm just going to hide in my room for a day. And, you just learn how to deal with yourself and these things that come up. So
It's like
yes,
the
it's
experience.
just try not to go into any of them having an expectation, because then you can be very disappointed.
Yeah.
Or opposite, you never know. And I just
Yeah.
really recommend trying to just go in open-minded,
Yeah.
let whatever comes up, uncomfortable, painful, just allow it.
Yeah.
Let it go.
And I think
Yeah.
too, it's important to do your research. So every sound healer is not created equally. Every massage therapist is not created equally. Every reflexologist is not created equally. I think it's really important to know that your practitioner is trained well. I know that in the mainstream, there's reflexology that's literally, I would liken it to something just like a foot rub. Like you're not getting super relaxed. You're not getting into the alpha state, which is a super relaxed state where your self-healing properties are enlivened. And so, yes, you might get some type of physical work, but you're not getting to that deep layer that Jen mentioned in terms of doing work that's going to maybe have an impact down the line as opposed to the 2 days following the session.
Yeah.
So I definitely echo what she said in terms of these modalities, when you get to the right people, are not passive. They require your participation and your investment in order to really reap the benefits that are available.
Absolutely.
Yeah, going with that, like you have to do the work on your own time, especially with massage. If you're, with everything, but obviously I see it with massage. If you're coming in once a month, but those other days in between, you're messing yourself up and not taking care of yourself. You can't expect us to heal you if you're not taking care of yourself in the past time too. We're an avenue to help you understand and help you get a better grasp on what's happening. But at the end of the day, we're not your babysitters. So it's important to understand what's going on within your body and be able to heal yourself in that way as well.
Sure. Maybe the biggest takeaway from this, from anybody watching, is that to be an advocate, you have to take maybe a little bit of a risk to see what it's like for the first time. Whenever you're going in for your first treatment, you don't know what to expect. You don't, that assurance, that level of cookie cutter assurance isn't there, but it's not meant to be there for a reason, because you have to learn it. You have to experience it and translate it for yourself. And that's what my yoga journey has been like too. I'd always be like, why didn't my teacher tell me about mala bands? Everybody's wearing these mala bands, great. And then I, after my teacher training, somebody was like, well, these are what you do with your mala bands. And I was like, oh, I'm just such a crappy yoga teacher because nobody told me about this. But it was like, when was that part of my practice? Did it need to be part of my practice then? But learning about it for myself, because I was curious about it, was a better avenue than just somebody, putting a bracelet, wrapping it around my arm and being like, oh, now you're going to be enlightened because you know about mala beads, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's more meaningful that way too.
right.
Because
There's a
you're actually
meaning to it.
understanding.
You've learned it in the moment. And, the one retreat that we did with the sound baths, I didn't learn it in the moment whenever Jen was doing it, but the feeling I had was so different walking into a retreat with women and doing yoga. So it was the experience behind, the application and then the experience behind it, which is what I think all of this kind of culminates as, like the doing is part of it, but then the learning is secondary. So you have to experience and be mindful and aware and in an open state to learn about yourself once you do it. Okay. Let's go into some other questions. In your experience, what kinds of physical or emotional issues respond? This is a deep dive, and respond well to your modalities.
So I struggle with this question. I wanted at some point to kind of define that in a very clear way. And one of the things that I have come to kind of realize about reflexology is, one thing that it does is it detoxifies the body. Everybody is going to benefit from detoxification of the body. So we always work the digestive system, the lymphatic system, and the urinary system, no matter what. And that's always going to make you feel good. Maybe you'll feel like a little sluggish day one, but then you're going to get the benefits of a detox. Yeah. So everybody, is going to benefit from that. But we can work on specific things. We can work on specific physical systems. We can work on energetic systems. I personally am very interested in working on folks that have mental health issues, specifically trauma. I also think that the practice is super, super powerful for grief. Yeah. The idea of letting go and detoxification kind of come hand in hand. And I also think, in addition to the many different physical issues that we can address, I also think addressing issues like professional development issues, decision-making, and athletic performance issues. It can be really powerful for things like that. So love working on the physical stuff and think it's really, really powerful, but I'm also super interested in how that connects to the metaphysical as well.
Yeah, me too.
Me too. I kind of have a similar take too. I feel like I have less of a niche and more of just like a type of person. And so people who want to learn more about themselves, people who are set on coming back and having a plan of action, I feel like is who I see the most benefits from. Which that's my very simple answer, because that's really when the healing can happen, is whenever people are keeping up with it and returning and being vocal, asking questions, like you said, asking questions about what's happening. And not everybody wants to talk during their sessions, but people who, chime in after or before also and just want to learn more about what's happening. And I feel like sometimes it does start out on a physical level, but as they start to understand what's happening with their body and then being able to connect it to metaphysical or just like the mental aspect of it. And it's funny, there's so many people that have things going on and I'm like, well, are you stressed? Like, when was the last time you took a deep breath? And they're like, oh, I don't know. It's like, well, maybe let's start with that. Baby steps. Let's take a deep breath first. Let's see what our diaphragm can do. But I think learning people who understand that there's a connection between those two is really, that's my favorite group of people, less so than the athletes or, different types.
Or it's just a means to an end sometimes where, in an acute situation, there's a means to an end. Like, this muscle won't release or something. I think you did my IT band, like, or my hip. Same with like Marathon Emily, with the hip problem, always inflamed. But yeah, it does take that, like, mind-body connection. Look, I'm doing it now. I'm crossing my legs. I shouldn't do that on that side.
We're all gonna have to
I know.
uncross our legs.
I know.
Look at you sitting right.
I just did it though because my knee started to hurt when I was
Right.
going
It's
across.
being in
Okay.
tune.
Don't mean to shame you for crossing.
Well, how so a lot of people, this is kind of getting into more of the science, and I I like to nerd out on things too. I like to nerd out, but it is one of these things where I think science and practice meet is in the person and the experiencer, because we, all have millions of little things going on in our bodies at the same time. So maybe this question is more like, where have you found, are there research findings or personal experiences that you can share to help people better understand the benefits? And I'm looking at you because I don't understand quantum physics, or I try to. I'm like, the photons and the hertzes and the that's not my wheelhouse. But if you could explain it maybe in a little bit more.
I don't think anybody truly understands that. They just try, right? How can you really understand an invisible field, right?
Yeah.
But I can. It's more hard to put into words, right? And I think that's an issue too in the community in general.
Yeah.
What I can speak to is that I've done my own research. I did a study with a professor at Pitt, and he's more into obviously like the sciencey part, and I'm into the brainwave states as well, obviously. But what I got from the study that we did, we had a participant come in to my studio, hooked her up to the brain thingies and heart monitors, and what I gathered from it is more personal. It is, okay, what did this session that I put together and the sequence of instruments and the frequencies played, did it do what I wanted it to? Which is like slowly take you down into the theta. Theta brainwave state is like that super deep relaxed state where your body can let go and all the natural healing abilities kick in. So we like slowly take you down, keep you there for a little bit, and then slowly bring you back up, back into this real world, right? And that's what it did. And that's what I got from it, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of science involved in that, which I also love. But personally, that's what I most gathered from that. And one thing that we learned that still I love to tell people is that the highest level of theta was in the silence, in the in-between. So, it was, and at first when I started this, I was always like, I have to play an instrument like every second. Like if there's a silence in between, oh my gosh, I better hurry up because that person's going to like wake up or come to, or, and that's not the case at all. So that really helped me as like a practitioner. Like, it's okay. Like allow that silence for a minute. And of course, a lot at the end, just so that they can integrate all the different frequencies that were played. There's a whole world of, what different hertz do and correspond to that would take many hours. But it's out there. I mean, the research is out there, a lot of it, and it's starting to come more mainstream, like everything. So as Leslie said, be very discernment. But
how does that play off of like even the energetic systems during reflexology and massage? Because I feel like that's, whenever I think about it, we've done like these coordinated sessions before with sound and yoga or massage. And because I was like, oh, well, this is a great experiment to see how people respond to more than one modality when I don't know if it's kind of like self-interest, but would this give a physical and an emotional and a mental release? Like, so how can we kind of combine these things? And we didn't have anybody on, we don't have any heart monitors or brainwave activity monitors whenever we're in the studio. But how does that relate to somebody who's doing physical touch?
I mean, what I would say about that is, so On a less scientific level, I would say that reflexology is a super grounding modality. So it's going to, if you feel like you're spun up in your head, it's going to bring you down to earth. Um, I personally, I do have, in my business, I do have a sound healer that I collaborate with. And I also send people to Jen. I also tell people to go explore it on their own. When I begin to desire see a need for more connection between kind of head, heart, and grounding. So kind of like thoughts, emotions, and like being connected to the earth. That's when I like to incorporate sound. At my studio, we don't do them concurrently. But could it be done? Maybe. I'm not sure. I actually wouldn't say that I lean in that direction. I think that using both modalities is totally fine and helpful. At the same time, I think it could be a little bit much. Sometimes what can happen is, we call it in reflexology a healing crisis, where you kind of dig a little too deep, you poke a little too hard, and then it kind of it becomes a challenging thing to get through. Not that wound doesn't need to be kind of addressed or whatever, but it's a little bit harsher than is intended. But yes, I definitely think using the modalities in kind of a thoughtful way together can be helpful. For sure.
And letting that integration period after, a
Sure.
session like that, you have to let your body integrate what it just experienced before jumping to the next thing.
And the best thing is probably not a session tomorrow.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
And I see it a lot. And it's
Yes.
like, whoa, okay, let's
Give it some
try
time.
to see what it is that you actually need. Because I also struggled trying to think, it didn't seem to fit, like, okay, you would do reflexology and sound right after. Like, I didn't see that at all. I didn't feel that at all. A few weeks later, sure, maybe, I'm a big fan of like spreading things out. Massage makes a little more sense, but
And the music plays a big part in, I have some people who request certain things, and I don't have any lyrics, but even just the lo-fi tempo music that I have a few people that are like, that's too much. Like, give me the bowls, or just very, very low sounds. Which is good for them to recognize that they're not able. I had someone like 2 weeks ago, she's like, I really like the music, but can you turn it down a little bit? I was like, oh yeah, girl. So to recognize that that's going to take you in or out if it's too much, I think is really important. From a scientific background, with like, as far as the nervous system and massage goes, I feel like we're always evolving and finding new research. And I actually just had a colleague who had this, he met a man, and then he went to this person's continuing ed that was just in Pittsburgh, just the importance of the nervous system and how we are treating the fascia to convey a chemical reaction instead of a mechanical reaction, how that plays into our healing for pain. So stimulating the muscle tissue in a different way than we originally thought would. I don't know if that's making sense. So how we used
fascia
to treat,
is like our kind of like our web of neurons and connection.
So our web
the
that's
brain.
connected to everything. So treating it in a different way than we used to think was, the sound way of doing it, just to get a different reaction to calm the body down and ultimately allow it to heal itself, which is what all of these kind of play into on a cellular level. Is just your body is made to do these things, made to heal. So giving it an avenue to do that, and then we're just, again, the facilitators behind that. So it's kind of intimidating to keep up with all the research, because you want to be doing your part, and like you said, we don't really know all of the energy aspects of everything. So it's important to do your due diligence and not be afraid to say, I don't know. And if it works, it works. If it's a placebo, it's a placebo, but it's still working. So taking away that ego of what you're doing, I think, is really important, and just allowing things to just be. And if it doesn't work, figure out a different avenue. But yeah, the science aspect is really cool in massage, because it's a little bit easier to see. But yeah, and see how different things that we're doing play into it. And you can probably speak to the neuroplasticity of it even I'm sure that's another
Yeah, sure.
another 4-hour conversation.
We can change our brains.
But-
And so same with fascia. I'm like, oh, don't even say the word. I'm
Yeah.
like,
I saw
just-
your eyes light
I
up.
know.
You
Are
mean
we
fascia?
talking about it? Can we talk about it now? Okay.
But yeah, just changing those states is the background of what we do. So yeah, learning different avenues to do that is helpful.
And I also think that it's important to consider, like, even if the research that we're looking at isn't specifically related to our modality, and I'll give an example. So I'm certified in a program called Empowered Relief. It's a pain program through Stanford. And the main message of this program I mean, it's a great program. I won't go on a tangent, but the main message is that a stress response and a relaxation response cannot be happening at the same time. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So if we can induce the relaxation response, we can help ourselves.
Yeah.
And finding ways, massage, reflexology, yoga, sound to
Yeah.
do so is so empowering, and it shuts down the stress response. Boom.
Oh my gosh. It's all
Yeah.
making sense to me. It's like
Boom.
love and fear
Yeah.
and
Clarity,
noise and silence.
Yeah.
We're just like, yeah, this is really good stuff, guys. I do want to like keep us a little bit more close to our time, but I want to ask some important questions because I think that as we talk about these things, you can tell how like passionately, we all care about what our kind of way of serving others is, and the science and everything is out there, and you can deep dive into it, and we deep dive into it, and that's where we come out with all these insights for the people who use the services. But what are some how can somebody add these kind of things into their life, or whether it's at home or with you guys? Like, what would you say is the way to get started?
Looking at me again.
I don't know. I'll look over here.
It's super easy for me. I mean, I encourage people to take your shoes off, take your socks off, and put your feet on the earth. And I don't mean on your hardwood floor. I mean on the grass, walk around in your yard, jump around in your yard, go out in the woods. Lots of things that are really just grounding. They bring you, when you are in touch with the earth, you're also in touch with kind of your inner self. And it can be really, really powerful. It doesn't have to be walking around. Even if you put your chair out in the grass and you have your cup of coffee with your feet on the ground, it can be really simple. It can be integrated very easily and for free into your life.
Yep.
Things like, I mean, that's the simplest one from my standpoint.
Touch grass.
Touch grass.
Just touch grass.
Just put your feet in the grass.
Just
Stop telling your
Yeah.
kids to put their shoes on.
Yeah. I think too, giving yourself time. I feel like we're all very busy and constantly running, and so it gets put on the back burner. I know for me it does. Like sometimes I have to be like, okay, I need to chill out, touch grass, and like go outside. With my cats have recently made me just like sit out in my backyard because they're just so happy, and I'm like, wow. And sometimes it's hard to set aside everything else that I'm doing because I have to watch them the whole time. But which that sounds, I'm a cat lady, sorry. But like I literally will sit outside with my cats until they're like done running around. And sometimes it's an hour and it's like, wow, I can't believe that I had to have my cats make me put down everything to like sit out here and just be. But taking time to do things like that, I think, is the first step. And then it can be overwhelming too because you want to do all the things at once. But go to different kinds of events, see if you really like sound healing or if you really like reflexology, and then maybe start to integrate it a little bit more. Don't feel like you have to take in everything at once, just baby steps to find what helps you or what you're drawn to. Because there is a lot of information out there too, and it can get overwhelming. And obviously with social media, like throwing everything in your face constantly, it can be a lot. But just slowing down and allowing yourself to just be and just take things as they come to you
Yeah.
instead of going out and feeling like you need to do all the things.
Yeah. Well, my humble opinion is that we are just too, our consumption is quadrupled recently. So just giving ourselves the time to step back, to open the aperture to what else is around, because we're bombarded with messaging all the time. And that messaging is not cleared away. It's kind of like on us, like cobwebs, to kind of use different analogies from yoga. But those, samaskaras are just, they get stuck to us. So whenever you're not actively relaxing or actively putting your touching grass or laying in silence, it's that loudness or that layer is on you whether you like it or not. And I think that these things actively help us move through all of that, bombardment, because it's I wonder about like childhood, like why was I like so happy? It's because I didn't have all this shit to think about, and I didn't have to like worry about all these like layers of all this information to be digesting and consuming. And in some ways it is our path forward to experience maybe some of that stress, to then realize like what we need to do. And then maybe the simplest thing to do is just to lay in the grass again and be laying on going to a concert.
Yeah. And I'll speak to that a little bit as on a frequency level. I mean, these things that we're holding emit harmful frequencies.
Yeah.
Put it down, and going and stepping in the grass, you're releasing that into the earth. It affects us. It affects our energetic body. It's harmful frequencies. We have our own natural frequencies. And that's why a lot of things get out of whack, is because, with the phones and microwaves and like all the things bombarding us, it's affecting our body. It's affecting our mind. It's affecting everything.
Yeah.
So the simple thing of standing in your yard, playing with your cats. Cats emit very positive frequencies. It's
Sure
well
do.
known. I'm very relieved to know I'm not the only crazy person that sits outside with the cats.
I got neighbors on all four
I have a
corners.
couch and I
know
sit
my luck.
on the stoop. Like, I don't know. I'm so glad to know I'm not the only one. That's like my place that I go when I need to. But yes, just even at night, like if you have the phone by your head, put it on airplane mode. You don't need it overnight. Like it's literally like frying your brain. So those types of things, invisibly,
it's like just do it once, see what happens. If you have sleep troubles,
affect us big time.
I agree. I did it the other day. I left my phone downstairs, and my charger is, in my bedroom. And I woke up and I was like, man, I slept really great. And I was like, oh, that phone's not even near me.
If it's charging, then it's even worse.
Oh,
the
shit.
frequencies emits by your head.
Yeah.
By your head.
They've
tell me. Measured like what it emits, and it's like way worse when it's on the charger.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're
going to
screwed.
change the conversation.
Everyone's
now.
wheels are turning.
Leave it out of the room if you can't turn it off, let's say.
Well, last thing, how do you see the future of wellness practices evolving, and how can we work together to make them more mainstream? I think we kind of touched on some of these things, but what do you guys think?
I think that I started talking, then forgot where I was going.
We've been talking a while.
Yeah,
45 minutes.
I think it's good because different types of practices are being more pushed to the forefront, and things that, especially for me, I mean, if I would see the things that I've been doing, the interests that I've had when I was like 15, I would have been like, look at this woo-woo woman. But the fact that they are backed by science, and we're seeing more of the science, and we're having a better understanding, I think people are becoming more open to it.
Yeah.
And as even doctors of all, like medical doctors, are seeing the importance of it too. So I think pushing things in the holistic realm is helping people to understand that they can do these things on their own, which just makes it more accessible. And then having panels like this. So I know for me personally, I want to do it all, constantly, but the truth is it's not all meant for me to do, which is hard for me to grasp as somebody who, like, I want to do sound healing for all my people, but like I can't do that, and I'm not meant to do that for everyone. So the fact that I can refer out to different practitioners, I think makes it, again, more accessible. I have an acupuncturist that I go to myself. I've sent so many people there and they come back and they all love her as well. So just having those different resources where you don't have to take on everything as much as you might want to. But yeah, having different avenues for people, like you said too, you know, if reflexology isn't for you, what can we do that might help you in a different realm?
Yeah.
And just education. I think that
Yeah.
there are it's kind of like the wild, wild west, and it's starting to get a little bit like we can explain ourselves and we can articulate what these practices are. And definitely still people think I'm woo-woo.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. And in addition to the, you know, the research, like sometimes I'm like, wah. Like the research is important, but like there are beautiful stories.
Yeah.
Like the majority of my clients come from a beautiful story being told about someone taking hold of their journey and redirecting it. So I think that, you know, getting clients to talk about it is really important, and to not be like, "Ooh, this was woo woo." It wasn't. Like it did something for you. It had an impact. I think that's really important. And just education. There's so many people that don't even know about this stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's my hot take.
I mean, I didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I saw it at the mall.
She saw it at the mall. She's
Which is, you know, but it's probably started off like that for all of us, because we start with, like, you know, I went to a yoga class for my first time and it was, or I think I saw it in like Self magazine as a kid. I was like, well, that's what yoga is. So it is all layers upon layers of trying to understand and create your own story, because everybody's story is going to be different, and everybody's healing and everybody's trajectory to what this all leads to is going to be different. So if there's a way to serve people's, you know, higher good, the freedom and the abundance that people, it's like if you're in that stress state, you won't be able to get to that other state. So all these offerings are allowing you to shift that trajectory, like you're saying, to a more, you know, self-loving, more open abundance, welcoming, open state where you could do that in a number of different ways with, but set the intention to be, you know, maybe not just like an acute thing at that moment of time, but just like on the journey of your own wellness and your own healing. So anybody else have anything else to say? Wow, I know. We could keep talking, I'm sure. So this was, you know, our first panel. I personally think that, you know, bringing these conversations and elevating the awareness for our practitioners and overall, like, women and wellness is important. Maybe this is like what I'm supposed to be doing, and we, you know, just all kind of understand that we have to take care of one another, and that whenever we all get together and we all are, you know, conversing and sharing and getting excited about it, that is an energetic frequency that also ripples through.
Exactly.
So, Jen, your studio is going to be located on Boyce Road in Upper St. Clair, opening
Mind Body.
right around the corner. Yes. And yeah, it's going to be in a beautiful space. So look for Jen to be opening her new space at the end of September, Sacred Tones Healing. Leslie's offerings are at the Cannonsburg Morganza Road space.
Soleil Belecha.
Soleil
is the name of
Belecha.
the
Oh, fancy.
is the name of the building. We're on Morganza Road. Yep.
Yes, and she can see individual clients as well in her space. And Bailey has her own space in Aspinwall for
Yes.
massage therapy.
And I will be having a second location that I'm taking new clients at in Greenfield starting in October.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's even fun. And you occasionally visit the Bridgeville
I
South Hills
occasionally-
area.
yeah.
If you catch our Instagram posts or,
Yeah, good
or if you
luck.
get in touch with us individually,
That's
we'll
the
let
Wild,
you
Wild
know.
West also.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
when are
we
you
want
coming
to
back? I don't
duplicate.
know.
We want to clone you so that you're always available. But so that's it.
Well,
thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you, Carla.
Well, yeah. Thank you guys. Yeah, for taking the
It's
trip
awesome.
down and having this conversation, having a cup of coffee. And we'll do more of these in the future. So yeah, we'll post all of our links in the videos to rewatch later on, and people can find us in their own time. Okay. Thanks. Are we all done?